What's up, Brew Crew? Opie here. Welcome back to my Brew City Garden. Or maybe I should say, welcome to the Jose the Neighbor Garden. I get a lot of questions about the lasagna garden where I planted potatoes, which were literally the first thing I planted this year. And, you know, I'm not the foremost expert on potatoes, but I would have to say they're doing pretty good. You might recall early in the spring, one of the very first things that I planted this year was the potatoes back in the Jose the Neighbor Garden, which is a brand new garden. And it's a lasagna style garden that I put together last fall, thanks to Jose the Neighbor, who graciously allowed us to have a small plot of his land behind his house. So a lot of thanks to Jose, and we're looking forward to sharing this, what looks like is going to be a monster crop with them come late this summer. If you want to see us planting those, I'll leave a link right up here. You can go back and check that out. And it kind of shows you how I went through building the potato garden, or the Jose the Neighbor Garden, and the potatoes that we planted in there. Now, as you can see, this potato garden is doing amazing. I mean, this might be the nicest potato planting I've ever had. We've got a few different varieties in here. On this end are the red potatoes. And as you can see, they're already putting on flowers, which is a really good sign. That means there's tubers developing underneath the soil. Really, I don't pay a lot of attention to this garden. It's a lasagna style garden, so it's mostly straw from the Brew City Garden. And I planted the seed potato very, very early in the spring. When the first sprouts emerged, they actually were nipped by frost a little bit, but it doesn't seem like they mind. You know, otherwise, I don't do anything with this bed. I don't water it. I really don't have to because of the organic material that's used in the lasagna style bed itself. The only thing I did do was come through and put in an all-purpose granular fertilizer, and I put in some fast-acting sulfur to bring the pH down a little bit because potatoes really prefer a more acidic soil. Otherwise, I really don't do anything at all with this garden. I'll come back and check on it about once a week. And, you know, the growth out here has just been phenomenal, unbelievable. So I believe our potato harvest this year is going to be pretty epic. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this turns out. And I'm sure Jose comes out here and peeks at this once in a while too. And I imagine he's probably pretty curious on how this is going to turn out as well. Now, Jose did mention that there's probably some rabbits living in here, and he showed some concern about that. However, rabbits tend to leave my potatoes alone. They don't eat them. I don't know if it's because they know that they just can't tolerate potato leaves because they are technically poisonous. So whether they're poisonous to a rabbit or not, I don't know. I'm not an expert, but they leave these alone. I really haven't had any problems. So if they got a burrow in the middle here somewhere, as long as they're not messing everything up, I don't really care. But if they are doing any damage, I can't tell. I mean, this is just incredible. I couldn't ask for better growth than what we're getting this year in the Jose the Neighbor Garden. Outstanding. So there it is, the update on the potato garden, the Jose the Neighbor Garden. Just incredible, outstanding. I couldn't ask for better growth than this. This was the perfect first year utilization of this lasagna garden. I'm thinking we'll probably do this again next year while the garden is still becoming established into the lawn, or into the old lawn, into the ground. You know what? Wow. I mean, it just speaks for itself. Hey, make sure you stay tuned because we're going to keep an eye on this garden through the season, and you definitely don't want to miss the harvest this year. All right, guys, thanks again for joining me today here at the Brew City Garden, or the Jose the Neighbor Garden, and for our little update on the potatoes. Hey, make sure you stay tuned because we're going to keep an eye on these, and it's going to be an epic season for sure. All right, guys, I want you to have an awesome day. I know I will, and until next time, we'll see you.